Welcome to Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for Dear Abby WTF. Please welcome your hosts. Already on stage is Jesse and Dana.
It's always so bright. It's always so bright. Dana, how the hell are you?
Well, I'm a little light struck. I'm just batting away the lights from my eyes. But other than that, pretty good.
Yeah. They seem brighter tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Or are we just more gloomy tonight and they just seem bright? Thank you for filling in on such short notice.
You're welcome. I had nothing else to do. So, and I mean, if it was anyone else, I would have said no. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, here we are again. We're just stuck with each other.
I know.
Like 3 different shows?
Yeah, we've done a bunch of stuff. I mean, that's what happens when people are cool.
Yeah. We just stay in each other's orbit, kind
right.
of. I've already asked you a ton about your vacation. I feel like I have, or like I feel like I just saw all your stories and.
Yeah, I just got back from a trip to. It was a musical themed trip in New Orleans and Nashville and Memphis. So it was learned some really cool stuff about music. Saw some really cool stuff. Nobody that I'm like. Well, when we got to the country music Hall of Fame and there was Taylor Swift stuff, that was when I was like, yay!
So that was part of the exhibit, or that was just happened to be there?
There's like a room. I think there's like a classroom where they teach kids how to write songs, and some of the stuff in there is Taylor Swift themed, and they had like one of her instruments there, and they have like a tour bus thing where you can take a picture in front of in a different spot. So I was like, yeah, Taylor.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, I wasn't sure how that happened. That's pretty awesome. What was your favorite part of the trip?
Oh, we went to the Grand Ole Opry. And even though like
you watched an Opry at the Grand Ole Opry?
Yeah, like, and even though like I'm not a country music like person, like they put on such a great show and have such a variety of performers and they're all top notch that it was like so good. It was such an experience. Yeah.
How long have you been planning this trip?
Oh, for a few months. It was one of those
it wasn't that long.
No, it was one of those. Well, it's one of those like pre-packaged bus trips where they design it all for you and you just give them the money and they like tell you where to go and book all the hotels and book all the.
Would you highly recommend that?
I would, like, because I'm like the kind of person that it's like I want to go somewhere and like have things to do, but like my normal day life is so busy with work and activities that I'm like, I don't have the time or the mental energy to do all that research. Why do it myself when someone's already done it? And then it's so much easier because I'm like, oh, well, I don't have anything that I wanted specifically to see. I just wanted to go someplace new and do something I've never done before. So it was
What was the best food you had while you were there?
Oh, the beignets in New Orleans.
I was going to actually break it up into 2 categories. Like, what was the best food and what was the best dessert?
Well, we ate a lot of ribs, and I don't cook a lot of meat, so like it was nice to be like, I don't know how to cook meat, so someone that couldn't, it was like fall off the bone kind of ribs, so like you didn't have to cut anything, you just put your fork in it, it was just like, oh, and it fell right off.
I had a really bad joke, and they just fell right off. Oh, man. All right. And I saw the pictures of the beignet. I love when my friends go on vacation. It's kind of like I'm on vacation too, So I lived vicariously through your vacation pics. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I bought a box of the beignet like mix, and because I bake, so I'm hoping that I can get them at least like 3/4 of the way to tasting authentic.
Yeah. It's just like hella powdered sugar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very nice, delicately baked, or I'm sure it could be fried. I'm not sure, but nice dough. It's French, so clearly it's like a puff pastry kind of thing, and then covered in powdered sugar, which I always have more powdered sugar than is necessary for anything ever in my house.
Yeah,
so.
That powdered sugar is dope.
Yeah,
it's dope. Okay, should we bring up our guests?
Yes.
All right. I don't know who they are. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, you better know who they are because I'm a last minute fill-in.
Yeah. The whole show seemed kind of last minute. It did. But it's going to be a great show. Please welcome Scott and Amy, Nate. Scott, I get your name wrong all the time. What is your Nate, Josh, Scott. It's Nate. It's Nate, right?
One more time for Jesse Rivera.
Woo!
right, that's good. Back to me now.
It's the whole wolf thing. Like, so many names go with wolf. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Jesse?
I'm good. How have you been?
I've been quite well. I got a new job.
Oh, what are you doing?
I make breakfast sandwiches at a coffee shop in Elk Grove.
What?
Coffee shop.
Talk to Dana.
I love a good breakfast
Yeah,
sandwich.
what coffee shop?
It's called Tool Coffee. It just opened. They pronounce it differently, but you know I pronounce it.
If
Tool.
I go there, can you sneak me shit?
Do a bunch of
can't.
tools
I work
hang
in the
out
back.
there.
Yeah, I was gonna say
hoping
like,
it
if
was
I was
Starbucks.
like a lazy
Let's
hack
log on
writer
another
and I was
patty or
trying to come
something.
up with an easy name for a hipster coffee shop, like
Uh-huh.
I would come up with Tool Coffee, like right next to Douchebags Grocery.
Do they
or
have
something.
like tools as
Thank
their
you, Amy.
logo? Like,
Oh.
what's their logo like?
Why else?
We have stamps and we stamp all our stuff on these little cardboard boxes. It's quite I'm trying to think of another word to go to besides tool, but it's quite demure.
I was
very
thinking
mindful.
tool like Tulle.
It's T-U-L-E. There's no
Okay.
there's no umlauts or anything across the letter, so they pronounce
It's
it Thule.
T-U-L-E?
but
I would call that Thule.
They pronounce it Thule, but I think it's Tool.
Oh, okay.
a
So
pro-
you're doing a play on words with it.
I feel like tool rhymes
feel
with
like they
mule.
are.
Okay. All right.
It does. Hell yeah, 2 rides with meal.
Amy Thompson.
Hell yeah.
How the hell are you, Amy?
Good and bad is the juxtaposition of life.
All right. Tell us about your outfit.
Oh, Jesse, you are so smart. All right, hold on. So this is party too long in Reno. Got home at 4 a.m. Woke up at 12 p.m. And then threw on stuff that I was like, my cousins gave me to. I have hot cousins that gave me stuff that is out of season now, but I'm still wearing it.
This is out of season?
I don't fucking know. I'm not for me.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
My old hot cousins now, they gave this to me when they were way young.
Right on.
13, 23 years ago.
Hey, Amy, how long have you been doing stand-up now?
2 years fully.
2 years. And
This is my third fall.
Okay, and do you have any advice for how long have you been doing stand-up?
I've been doing stand-up for 15 months.
15 months.
now.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. It's a little bit longer. I thought you were still under a
That's
year.
fat, baby.
No, I passed it on July 3rd, right
Okay,
before.
all right. But Amy, do you have any encouragement, any words of advice for a 15-month comic?
I enjoy doing it. If you don't enjoy doing it, get the fuck out. But like, if you enjoy doing it to any degree, even if people are telling you like, giving you so much advice so you feel like you're not good, just keep doing it. Like, if you know you like it, you know it works for you, keep doing it. Don't let anything anyone else tells you get that down.
Yeah.
Although the right people give you advice and it doesn't sound like criticism, and you will know it when you hear it.
I got some advice for you.
Yeah.
I got some advice for you. Don't let anybody
just me
who
loving
rolls
advice.
joints outside of an open mic give you advice.
That rules out like 90% of the comics here, Jesse. Who am I supposed to listen to?
None of the guys that roll
the comics
joints
that don't roll
outside
good
of open
joints.
mics.
The ones that roll tight
What-
joints.
yeah,
listen.
what if they roll good joints? Like
Yeah, the ones that roll. Yeah.
even less?
You.
All right.
Yeah,
Jesse's
You said
podcast,
it.
they'll smoke
90% of the
good
comics.
Yeah, it's funny because like you started with mentioning like if you don't enjoy it or out, like just to get out, like if you don't enjoy it. And when I first started, Dan Madrid actually wrote in that little book that I carry around that has everyone's autograph, like, "Hey, Nate Wolf, you should keep doing comedy." He wrote all this out. Keep doing comedy unless you start to absolutely hate it, in which case maybe you should try something else. Smiley. So it's good that I'm getting that advice again, over a year later.
That's awesome. That's
Autistic
awesome.
advice.
Are you guys at all
Like my
familiar
phone
with
screen on
with
that.
the concept of Dear Abby?
The podcast or the
No, it
The
was not a
newspapers.
podcast.
I'm MySpace
either
too,
way,
I
the
know.
answer would be no on.
We used
Okay,
to write
okay.
into a
So before
newspaper.
podcasts, there was newspapers. Okay. And yeah, in the 1900s, there
Wrote
was
on my
newspapers,
porch, boy.
and there was advice columns in the newspaper, and so like it wasn't like before where you could just go onto Reddit and get advice, you know. you would have to, if you didn't want to get advice like from an elder at the church, then you would write into Dear Abby, who worked for the San Francisco Chronicle. Dana, do you remember?
I don't know.
So people would write in to Dear Abby, and so these letters. Sometimes Nicole puts the year, but these letters. I think she said this book was published in the 1950s. So all of these letters. So these are like actual letters that people wrote into the newspaper to ask for advice, and like we cannot make this stuff up.
It's kind of like an old-fashioned version of "Am I That Asshole?" But but instead of crowdsourcing it, it's just like one lady.
See, I don't know what you were talking about, but that hit with the kids.
Right?
No,
It's a thing on Reddit.
That's a big
We'll
thing.
see.
Obviously, yeah. Oh my God, Jesse, you're almost there. I'm gonna send you like 7 things.
I'm almost there. What? With,
For Am I the Asshole? For Am I the Asshole? It is wild. It is exactly this. Data fire. That
I've been listening to this. I love those so much that I've just been like listening and reading them like all the time. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm a very well-adjusted, kind human being with the kind of shit that other people get up to. I'm like, I feel good about myself. Like,
just sip some coffee to it.
do you sometimes go? Because I sometimes
I've
find
had family
myself
tell me,
going to
yeah,
the
that
internet
it's
just
like
to
this.
help myself feel better about myself.
Yeah, hell yeah. And we should almost do an Am I the Asshole versus
Right.
Dear Abby app for one episode to see how the like new age goes with the old age, because people fucking never change. Like
Right.
people be wild.
well, it's like sometimes I'll read these things and I'll be like, wow, I can't believe you can't tell that was terrible. And then other times I'll be like, wow, you and I have
Yeah,
experienced
treated you
similar
terrible.
kind of horrible people that did not let us realize how bad they were.
girls,
And
I'm
I'm
treating
glad
you
that I came out of it, and I hope you do too.
Hell yeah.
I think Amy's got a great idea.
I think because the dude is the ass. Well, not always, but there is a person that might be an asshole in the situation.
All right. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna read these letters. There's 4 letters. There's 4 of us that works out, and we're just gonna kind of riff on the advice that's being given here. Are you good at giving advice? Either one of you?
Giving, not taking.
I think fair.
You can't take it.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
really good
taking
at giving
it.
advice, but I'm horrible at taking. What about you, Dana?
I'd like to think that both, although there are times where like I'm getting advice and I'm just like, I don't want your advice right now. I'm trying to like tell you my feelings. Like, please don't give me things to like work on after this conversation. I'm not looking for that right now.
Okay, you know what? I've learned to ask, like, are you looking for an answer or do you just want to vent?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something I've learned like in the last 6 months. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, see, because normally I'd have been like, listen here, Missy. No, I'm just kidding. I would
My,
not have.
my favorite thing is
Listen
like,
here, little lady, calm
First
down.
of
Go
all,
pay.
toots.
I used to have this coworker, and he loved to ask me my advice about himself. Like, he would always come to me and be like, how did I handle that meeting, or how did this thing go, or like, I've been doing these things at work and I'm curious to see like what you think. And I was just like, yes, I would love to tell you exactly what I think about that. And it was so fun, and we have these like great conversations, and it was
Were you
I enjoyed
honest
it.
or not? When
Oh,
he-
yeah, I was
were
totally-
you
like,
actually
he was-
honest? You were
he
a
was-
piece of shit.
he was
Stop
very
chewing gum.
he was very gracious and really great at taking advice, and like, and you know, I always had like positive things to say and everything that was like constructive and helpful, and not like, well, you're a stupid diva bitch. But
Was it honest advice, or were you just kind of trying to tell him what he was?
Oh
sort
no,
of
it was
asking you?
definitely honest. But also he was someone that like you wouldn't have to give hard, like mean or like you suck kind of advice. Like, it was somebody that like, I feel like a lot of the people that are willing to take advice already know that like they're not perfect, but they've got good qualities.
They're working
so
on it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, the kind of people that are gonna come to you and ask for advice are the kind of people that are able
You're
to
a
take
damn
it.
good boss. that's exactly what I want from
It
a
wasn't
boss.
even I wasn't even his boss. He was just a coworker that was like, hey, I'd love your advice. I'm like, okay.
Right, upper management.
Thanks.
All right. Should we jump into the letters?
They are
All right.
wild. This-
All right. Hey, Amy, you want to go first? And you don't have to go in order. Like, you could just pick.
Okay. Wow. Oh man. There's some you picked out 4 treasures. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Jesse. Like, this book is almost as holy as the Bible. All right, let's see. I guess I will. Because and there's so many good numbers in them, and that is like my autistic thing. All right, so I'm going to pick letter number 2 because it has the most numbers. Let me quick.
There is a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 2 is my thing.
Is anybody else trying to add
letter
them all
2.
up right now?
Dear Abby, I've been married to a charming deceiver for 13 years. And in that period of time, he has had 119 girlfriends.
What?
No sooner would I start one affair than he would start in on another. He said as many as 5 at a time. And the funny part of it is that you would never think he was the type by looking at him. It never seemed to hurt his job or his reputation. He gets $486 a month take-home pay and sings in a choir. That is a church choir. I'm adding that. He's 57, and so am I. Although it is a new 47. And I have written a book on his escapades, and I want you to know that and want to know where I should. I have written a book on his escapades, and I want to know where the fuck to send this because it is going to be New York Times bestsellers. I just need to know where to publish it. Thank you. Yes. Oh, that was my letter. This bitch, I love her.
Abby's response is on the next page.
Oh my God. All right. Oh, hell yeah. Save them trees. Because the double sprint. Wait. Oh, wait. Oh, here it is. Never mind. Yeah, kill them trees. Fuck trees. Trees are trying to kill us. I know they are. Don't ever climb a tree. Okay. To Ripley's Believe It or Not. Wait, hold on. I'm letter 2. I have letter 3, letter 4. I don't have the responses.
Is this right up there? It's right there. Dear ACA.
I'm ACA. Okay. Dear ACA. To Ripley's Believe It or Not. Letter 3. That's what I thought. Okay, I am Ripley's Believe It or Not. Believe it. Dear Abby, I'm a girl. Wait, hold on.
Now you're reading letter 3. You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I can't find the response thing.
Well, because she asked, where do I send this for publishing? And then Dear Abby's like, to Ripley's Believe It or Not. And then that's it.
My God, that's right.
Yeah.
That is it.
It took me.
I would think you should send it to Guinness Book of World Records.
That's where it ends.
It took me a few reads to be like, wait, what is she saying?
119 girlfriends back then.
I don't know.
God, I just
Okay,
need
all
one more
right. So
indent.
I guess there's two
One
things
more
going on here. Do you think the lady is bullshitting about her husband having 119 girlfriends?
I don't know. Like, how do you define girlfriend?
I mean,
That's how you keep track of your
Probably got
boyfriend
tired of
cheating.
making
You're a hot
excuses and
autistic
let her
bitch.
catch him.
I mean,
Like,
is
I hope
that
they're all
so?
hotter than me. Have fun. I have to count stuff at home.
Or do you think? I think Abby's like calling her, like saying that she
Right.
doesn't believe it.
Well, that's like 9 a year. If they've been married for
Believe
13 years, and if he's cheated the entire time, that's like an average
You
of
can't have
9
sex with him
girlfriends a
if you'll get
year.
a STD. You can't sleep with a dude that cheats with 119 people because you'll get an STD.
Right?
Well, not in the 50s when these were actually being written because they hadn't invented those yet.
No, there's way more STDs in the 50s.
You know, this is actually the letter that kind of tipped me off that these were a bit dated because, excuse me,
Everyone famous died of
119
syphilis.
girlfriends. Like, how could you afford, first of all? And like,
Right.
it's one of those things. Like, remember when being a serial killer was really popular in like the 50s and 70s? It's because you only had a certain amount of time in the day. You could only afford to kill a certain amount of people. Just this guy was womanizing instead.
Yeah, this is back
But-
when like you can get like a pop for like a nickel.
Right. Because it's like his monthly
pussy,
take home
it's a
pay
soda.
is $486, and I was like, that's not even $6,000 a year. Like he would not be living in his own home.
Dana's crunching the numbers over here.
He's gonna get one of them. He's
486
gonna get 9 of
between
them
a wife
pregnant.
and
That's
119.
Right. But so what I'm confused about, because at one point I don't know if this was a mistype or she's admitting that she's also been cheating because
God.
she's like no sooner would I start an affair, but he would start another one. It's like, well, why are you mad if you're having affairs too?
You're right.
Yeah, I don't know.
ambiguously
I think
worded.
that was a
Matching him
mistype.
118.
Right.
It's ambiguously worded, you know.
But
No
I feel like-
sooner would
Oh,
I.
she's a delusional autistic bitch.
I mean, he's
That's very sad
57
for
and
her.
still laying it down. That's like goals.
But I feel like if you were also cheating as a woman, I would
think that was
understand that
real.
quality is better than quantity, and the numbers wouldn't really matter. I would almost be like, ew, why can't you keep a side piece?
She's cheating with somebody who's making $487
That's
a
true.
month.
That's true. Cause like when you hear about people having affairs, it's like they had an affair with like this one person for so many years, and like, yeah,
Yeah. Because I wouldn't count it as a girlfriend if you hooked up with like one girl at a sleazy motel one time. Like, that's just a hookup.
yeah. All right,
One
so
night stand.
we're calling bullshit on this
Yeah.
this person.
All right, if it's me, you believe it, but for this, not.
He let her catch on.
119, Amy.
119. Hell yeah, he should have.
Okay, also, like, if she's, like, you know, writing about how much he makes, like, to Abby, and, like, you know, she's gonna purport all this information, like, no wonder she's cheating on her.
Was
like,
that good money in the 50s?
in the 50s?
486 a month.
I would think so. Like, I,
I
feel
hope it's
like
good now,
I
because that's
made
what I
almost
make.
$480 last
Right.
month. Doesn't that sound like something that somebody would brag about at, like, the malt shop?
I feel like that's good money in like Jane Austen times.
The
Like,
sock
that's my
hop.
only old timey reference. Yeah. Yeah. And if it's take home pay, then he's made more and it's just gone away in taxes.
Yeah. So this guy's loaded. All right.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not buying 119. Maybe
But like,
that-
how did she know? Like, how did she keep count? And how did she?
He got tired after 118 and was just like, you know what? I'm going to let her
Right.
find out.
He kept a journal. Dear diary.
Yeah, people kept journals back then.
Girlfriend number 72, not working out so well. Right.
The year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is our guy.
So 55.
We need a podcast.
So he's doing okay.
Yeah. But he's clearly not going to be able to
Stuff
afford
was
to
cheaper
like
back then,
buy
too.
these girlfriends like luxury dresses and purses and things. Yeah.
Yeah, he's promising a lot. He's promising a lot, and then they're seeing right away that
Probably
he's
what
shady.
it says, charming deceiver at the.
Yeah.
He's like if you give me a blowy in my coupe, I'll take you to the IHOP.
To the malt shop.
Right.
To Mel's. Seems like a
That's
fair
a good
trade.
diner.
Right.
Mel's is righteous.
The diner's
All right.
dope.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Nate, what letter do you want to read?
The one that really stood out to me was this first one here.
All right, go for it. It's all you.
Dear Abby, this is how I imagine she talks.
I'm like only 2 white claws.
A
and I
friend
eat
of mine
BBs.
took a boy into her home when he was 19. He never married and is now in his late 30s. She is a married woman, about 60, and has grandchildren and children. Well, you don't have to say grandchildren and children for starters. It's not like she turned 60 and just started
She was trying to hit a
growing
word count.
grandkids. Yeah. Like on Twitter.
We've all been there.
So it's kind of like
That was a
Twitter
good
for the
letter.
newspaper. You got
Yeah.
it. Yeah. All right. He calls her mommy, and she calls him lover boy in public. And he never goes anyplace without her. Do you think this is all right? Sincerely wondering. Dear Wondering, it's all right with me. What's your problem?
Oh, Abby likes him young. Okay, wait. Am I reading this correctly? So, 60-year-old is letting the 19-year-old live with her.
Well, he's in his late 30s.
Oh, now he's in his late
So
30s.
she started off at 40 when he was 19. So
That's not too bad.
and she has
That's
okay.
kinda
Well,
cool.
also
That's
she has
kinda
children and grandchildren.
And
but
grandchildren.
so it
He's
could
been
have
living
like
with her
one
for
of
over 10
kids'
years.
Friends, you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
like her kids turn 18, 19, and one of her little guy friends who probably didn't have a mom.
19th. It's 29th.
I don't have a problem with it.
You know, I agree with Abby in the sense of like, why is this any of your business?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like, why are you writing in for your friend? But also, like, I agree with Dear Wondering that it's like, yeah, this is weird.
Yeah, it's definitely weird, but I mean, I can't. I mean, if that's her thing.
It's before your time creepy.
I
You're
mean-
before your time, but you're still creepy.
It just makes me think of like, well, one, did she groom him, and two,
Well,
like,
yeah, that's true, huh? Because
Right.
19 and she's 40. What? Who did that math? It's a lot of math in this episode.
Right.
You need to be able to have like legal addictions before someone does this whole thing.
but also it says that she's married, and it's like, what's her husband up to?
Yeah, they don't really talk about the husband. They're just like, oh, and she's married.
She-
Anyway,
Right.
Kind of.
She
did.
No.
They adopted a
Oh shit.
Right. Like, well, it's just like,
So that husband a cook.
it's like either one or two things is going on. Either the husband is like, I don't
Biggest
want to deal with her anymore, but I can't divorce her, so I let her have her like pet man in the house.
It's probably
Right?
the
He
He
husband
adopted
from
a
letter
child
two,
that calls
honestly.
his wife a lover boy.
Right.
Like,
Or
once she caught her husband
she
cheating
calls-
in letter
it's not
two,
lover
she was
boy.
like,
He calls
well,
her
if
mommy.
you get to have
He
119
calls her
girlfriends,
mommy.
then I get to have a lover boy.
right. I get to have a man child
And
that
I
never
already
grew
have
up.
someone in mind,
Or it's
turning
like,
God, Abby.
19 next year.
or maybe it's
I
some
hope
kind
he's
of
dead
weird
now.
like thruple thing going on. Like maybe the husband's like into it, and like
Yeah,
he,
was
he
this
keeps
Utah?
he keeps his participation on the down
Oh.
low at home, and he's like peeping on them or participating himself, and he's like, you guys do what you want in public, I get off in private.
It's true. People like kinks in all the decades. There were
Right.
kinks in every decade. Like
Yeah,
they, like,
cuckoldry probably goes back further than like
it's like
just
we're almost
like
like we
this
all- yeah.
decade,
Right.
just the 20s. You
and
know?
like bless them. They probably had a fun ass house.
Right. Right. Maybe he was bisexual or like secretly gay, and he was like, you know what, we both get to have some fun. Maybe Loverboy was bisexual
yeah,
and was
yeah.
getting it from both parents. Like,
Oh, that was probably a healthy house with all the kids. It
Right?
was okay. They had
You know what?
Three
Deep down
adults
inside,
that
I
love
hope it's
them.
that last scenario
right?
more
where
than a
he
lot
was
of us.
serving them both.
You know, like they were living. The three of the people may have been judgy, but all three of them were like, "This is my ideal scenario."
I would like to believe that he was serving them both and they didn't know. And then like there was just like an episode of Jerry Springer where they're like, guess what?
Right.
Yeah. All right. I like this letter. Okay.
What did you think about it?
Amy, are you okay with the advice that they gave Wondering? Like mind your
Hell
own
yeah,
business?
I can never argue with Abby.
All right. All right.
Right.
Yeah. Now
Just
he's
get
in his
used to it.
30s. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
he
that's
could've
actually
probably
it's all right
left
with me.
at-
What's
if he
your
would at
problem
some
is probably
point in his
my
20s if he
mantra.
wanted
Or
to.
like
Maybe he was trying to get written into somebody's will, because like, okay, so when I was doing comedy in Placerville a decent amount, there was like a woman in her 60s who liked some of my jokes and was also like kind of handsy with me, as some old women are.
I don't know when your 60s come out.
And
Don't look at me.
you know, like
Oh, you're not that.
I'm neither old nor handsy.
but it did get me thinking, you know, like how far could I go to get written into somebody's will? Because I know she had money. She was retired in Placerville.
You know,
It's not that I
how
wanted
far
to.
would
It's not that I
I'd
wanted
be
to
all
fuck
in.
someone's grandma. I didn't
Yeah,
certainly
I would-
didn't want to call her
I'd
mommy in
serve that
public.
grandma up.
See, this is the other thing. Like,
This
you know,
is dope.
between the two of them, if they want to do that, that's, you know, whatever. But it's in public, and you can't get like the rest of the nice people in the 1950s consenting to that.
Yeah, it was the 50s.
It's kind of like, you know, if you're hanging out with a new couple and one of them is like, "Oh, you're a brat," like they think they're being clever and
But
shit. like,
what
it's
would they think
gross.
about that in 2024 Placerville? Had you taken grandma out in public?
They probably would have assumed it was my grandma. They probably wouldn't have it. There is that. Well, you're alone with her. You know. How badly do you want your own place? So,
I just feel like with my friends, I know that people would gossip about it and speculate so much and be like, what's really going on? And then just like come up with 500 scenarios of what's happening behind closed doors that we don't know.
Yeah. So since they're speculating, you might as well.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
I mean,
Okay.
you do you, but also it's a fun group activity. Exactly.
There you go. There you go.
Obvious.
All right, we're gonna move on. Dana, you want letter 3 or letter 4?
Perfect. I love they're both on the same page.
I will read.
I should not do this.
I will go with letter 4.
All right, I was hoping you'd pick that one because it's longer.
Okay. Dear Abby, my husband has been fooling around with the lady across the court all winter. Nobody knows I'm wise, but when he says he's going to lodge meetings, I watch him go across the court. Then I sit in a tree and look right into her apartment. Should I get a witness to sit in the tree with me before telling him I know everything? I want it to be all according to law. Thank you. Watching. Dear Watching, if you want everything to be according to law, better get yourself a lawyer. Sitting in trees is for the birds, so get out of the tree before you find yourself out on a limb.
Oh, that's clever. Dear Abby with the pun there at the end.
Hell yeah.
Amy, weren't you saying something earlier about not climbing trees?
Oh, no. Oh, man. I mean, like, if you are going to climb a tree to spy, wear a diaper so that if you have to stay up there a long time, you can pee in it. It's really hard to find a bathroom in a tree. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. My life experience.
Have you sat in a tree and realized you had to pee?
Yeah. I might have had to figure some shit out in a tree.
Amy, I'm gonna tell you, I actually used to climb trees a lot when I was a kid. I would get pretty high up too, and
I'd
there
be
were
boosted
times
up.
where
I
I
was
had to
figuring out
pee.
shit
I
for
would
other people
just
too.
do it off of the branch, like just out of.
Oh, you've peed
I
off
was
of
the
a
life on the
tree?
branch. Yeah, I got boosted up.
That seems kind of cool.
It made me feel pretty big. You know,
Yeah.
because I was already really high in the air. And,
Yeah.
I feel like that's an easier activity for some people than others, right?
Oh.
I was very nimble at the time.
The last time I climbed a tree, I fell and I hit my head. And it wasn't. Was it a big tree?
It was a very large tree. I couldn't tell you what kind because I don't know trees like that, but it's tall, thick.
All right.
Like I don't understand what this lady means. I want it to be according to law. Like, what do you mean? Like it's like, yeah, it's definitely illegal to peep in other people's windows.
Yeah,
so like, don't
like,
bring somebody else up a tree with you to spy on your husband.
It's gonna be your husband and his lover witnessing you stalking them.
Yeah. Although this might be during because these are so old, like back in the day, you used to have like reasons to get divorced. Like every time you see yeah, because every time you see celebrities, like they do the story and there'll be like celebrity and getting divorced. They cite irreconcilable differences. I'm like, there's literally only 2 things you can cite for divorce in California. It's irreconcilable differences, and I think they just recently got rid of incurable insanity. So it's like, well, of course. But back in the day, you used to have like a list of like 5 or 6 reasons that you could get divorced, and if you didn't have one, you couldn't get divorced.
Oh, okay. So that's why she's like,
Yeah.
I want it to be according to law. So she wants a witness in order to say,
Yeah,
to
it's
fight for
cheating.
some of those
Cheating
reasons.
is a
yeah.
bona
Because
fide
if she
reason.
were to go, like they were gonna say, lady, you're crazy.
Yeah, especially if it's the woman asking for the divorce.
Right,
I
right.
mean,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're just gonna be like, no, lady, you're crazy.
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's how we shut
It's like,
down
oh, silly
mistresses.
woman, you won't have a life without your husband. Why do you want a divorce? No.
Fool, buy me flowers and diamonds.
This really does seem like the husband from letter 2, because like he got to his 119th girlfriend and like started getting lazy with his excuses. He was like, I'm going to the
Yeah, like
lodge at the
excuses,
courthouse.
I'm gonna go skip some rocks at the pond.
Throw rocks.
Like, she's literally not even out of their, like, neighborhood. And he's just like,
I'm
boop, boop,
going
boop, boop.
across the street.
Seems like she can get the HOA involved.
We don't even have to change the blinds now. Don't even leave them open.
Oh,
Leave
man.
them open. Watch me skip rocks.
Because it's like, okay, he's saying he's going to the lodge, but like, where's the, like, unless the lodge meeting is within
this
walking
lodge?
distance, like, you're gonna see his car either not leave your house or show up across the street. Like,
He like drives across the street, and it's like, and it's back in the 50s, so all the cars were super loud, you know?
right? And huge.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
With the leaded
they're all a
gasoline.
jalopy. Every fucking thing on the street's a jalopy.
Right?
The fucking 50s.
Right?
Everything's a fucking jalopy.
Where would he have gone if she didn't catch him after this one? It's like, I'm gonna go to the lodge, and he just walks next door to the neighbor, to his other
Right.
neighbor's house.
Yeah.
He's just gonna be, next time he's just gonna be like, honey, and my girlfriend's coming over. Cool?
Cool.
Don't go into the basement. Like,
I was saying, bring some snacks. Bring some snacks in
set-
about half an hour.
set dinner for
Steak and
3. She likes
Dad
Jello
has
molds.
snacks.
Make a Jello
Oh,
mold.
bring us a towel. Okay, I'm going to read letter
Leave
number
M&Ms
3,
for
and then we're going to
sure.
get out of here. Letter number 3. Dear Abby, I'm a girl, 11 years old. My mother and big sister keep telling me when I get older, there is something they have to tell me. I have heard it from friends. Should I tell my mother and sister now, or should I wait a while? Signed, Debbie. Dear Debbie, tell them now. It's time they knew.
And most sisters of these fucking letters. As a collective group of
Oh.
Dear Abby letters. So why?
I agree with the advice. I think Abby's stirring the pot, and I think Abby wants to hear the 11-year-old version of the talk.
Right.
It's the talk. Dana, did anyone ever have the talk with you?
Oh yeah, I was definitely prepared, but also we
Like,
would.
but when they, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when you had the talk, did you already know what was about to be said, and was it what
No.
you were expecting?
No, I definitely did not. Like I did not know before my mom told me about periods what a period was, but also like I was young enough to where it was like not common yet for my classmates to have periods.
Absolutely.
So like I was ready for it to happen when it happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you remember like when
There was no
when a classmate had their period? Was it the talk of the
Walk my shit
class?
out.
Like
know,
in
I
the,
think-
in the group?
I think we were pretty cool. I mean, my middle school class had 6 boys and like 14 girls. So like you're not gonna talk shit about periods when you're vastly outnumbered. But I do remember. So I went to Catholic school, and we had a grotto to the Virgin Mary, and I remember sitting in the grotto making jokes about periods
tampons.
with like mostly girls but one boy, and he thought it was the funniest thing. And I was like, this is probably the most inappropriate place to talk about periods, but here we go.
most appropriate.
I mean,
place.
yeah, I mean, if the the Virgin Mary probably always had periods, you know,
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause
once
she
a
was-
month like clockwork.
If she
She was a
doesn't,
virgin.
Jesus has so many brothers and sisters.
What did you think of Abby's advice here, Amy?
I wonder if so when Abby gave this advice, what she was thinking this girl's thing was, because it could be that her dad isn't her real dad.
That's actually where my mind went to with this. So my parents
Oh,
never
okay.
gave me the period talk when I was an 11-year-old girl either. They went to something else. So what this letter got me thinking about was like, a kid like at school told her like, you're adopted. Your parents aren't your real parents. So she goes home and tells her parents, and then her parents fall for the kid's joke like, oh God, we have to tell her now.
Okay,
I didn't think of periods.
But what if?
Forgive my ignorance.
Well, that makes me think now. What if what the girl thinks they're talking about is not what they're actually talking about? And
Well,
and
'cause
Abby
I
gives
thought-
her this
I thought it was
advice.
like the
Exactly.
sex. I thought it was the
What the
sex
fuck does
talk, not
Abby
the
know?
period talk.
The letter is a little big.
Right.
My first thought was parental heritage. On this,
I think because
So we all thought something different.
Right. I
More
thought
or
because
less.
all the characters were women, my brain immediately went to periods.
Wow, I wonder what it was.
This is why people are amazing. Yeah, Abby sure the fuck doesn't know what it is with this advice. Tell them now. It's time they knew.
Right.
Tell them what, Debbie? What does Debbie know?
Apparently, she already knows. She's heard it from the kids at school.
Maybe-
I think it's the sex talk. I think it's the birds and the bees.
But why? Like they're gonna wait for her to get one more year. Just tell her at 11. I had my period like 11 right away. Like it was 10, 11 cusp. Tell this bitch this shit now.
But evidently, like back in the like periods come sooner now than they did like 50, 60
You're
years
right.
ago. So maybe at 11 she was still a long way off.
So we're just gonna
You know what it really
watch her
made
for
me
a few
think of?
months.
What's that?
The other
good,
letters,
Frankie.
like from this, like all these letters seem like they could have been written
Overloaded,
by
right?
like people who live in a neighborhood or a family together. Like, we have to tell our daughter something, and that's that dad has 119 girlfriends.
Or her
and,
dad is the
your
guy.
weird older brother lover boy isn't
very
actually your older
clever.
brother.
Right.
Your mom groomed him. Like,
Maybe the mom is one of the girlfriends, and she's like, your dad is this guy that's married to this woman,
they all
and
seem loosely related.
300 siblings.
And
yeah, right.
and I have to tell you now before he comes back from the lodge.
Maybe lover boy and this 11-year-old girl are siblings because this guy has been at this for like
119.
15 years or something. Right. That whole town, they're like, they have a very big like, please move here. We need to like increase the gene pool. We're really screwed right now.
An
Is
AA.
it,
Right.
is it Springfield?
Come to our
Ohio?
town if you have an AA, please.
We will buy half your house if you move here and have
Placerville, California.
children
Placer-
with our residents.
Not us. I have some cousins though. If you have an AA, go to their town.
Oh man! All right,
Well,
Just go to
so
their town to.
legally in California,
not
you can marry
related.
your cousin.
you can.
Yes, you can marry your first cousin in the state of California. It is 100% legal. Yes. And I only know that because I took family law and not because I looked for personal reasons. Right. I read it for class and I was like, wait a minute. This statute's missing something very important here. Right? They're like, no parents, no grandparents, no kids, no grandkids. I was like,
Is it one of those crazy laws that's on the book for some weird reason and it just never got
I
taken
don't
off?
know. I mean, thinking about California history, because of the gold rush, there weren't a lot of women out here. So women would come over and they'd either like make their money like cleaning laundry because there were no women, or being prostitutes, and those were both very lucrative jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, they paid well.
So they're like, okay, if your only option, if there's one woman to 500 men, your only option is your first cousin. That's gonna be okay because.
All right, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I mean, I can't say that's for sure, but that's my
No,
educated
I
guess.
believe it. I believe it, and you're pretty smart, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. You guys get to keep these letters; they're yours to keep.
I am actually. Thank you. If you tried to take this from me, I'd be mad. I would have been like, what the fuck are you grabbing this in my hand for? No, I have stickers I planned.
Oh man, Dana, you got
Okay,
any
white
any
trash,
shows
yeah.
you need to plug? What's going on with you, Dana?
My next show is Squad Patrol. It's a sketch comedy show on October 11th
Anything
at
that you wrote
7:30.
on this episode?
I have contributed some funny lines to we're doing a one-act Halloween play, so it has to have cohesion. So I have contributed some funny lines because I am a funny person, but I did not write any
Okay.
of the like bits.
All right, Amy, what do you got going on? When's the next Dress to Kill?
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. All right. So autistic. Dress to Kill is October 4th. If you're in Reno to some reason, it is. And if you were, it would be fire. Altruist Bar underneath. We're in the cellar. I'm going to dress as Princess Peach. October 27th at the Callback Bar. I'm going to dress as Nyan Cat. That's a little Y2K. Not really. I'm Ots. The Ots were fraught. It's not. I was not a 90s baby. I'm a millennial. I realized all the shit was terrible. The Ots were fraught.
Did it?
So yeah, October 27th and October 4th. But if you're in Reno, October 4th. If you're in Sacramento, October 27th. And also, I am white trash. I've gone to a family reunion to hit on hot cousins. They were hot though. They were
Speaking of
seconders.
speaking of your Dress to Kill, did anybody read Carla's post yesterday about Dress to Kill?
The pit. Oh, everyone is gonna dress fancy and it's battle royale, but dress to the nines. Highly recommend it. Dress to Kill. It is battle royale, but for prom. If you ever read battle royale, I'm not talking about like Fortnite, but it is like I'm gonna mispronounce this. Kushin Takami. He pitted a bunch of 15-year-olds in his book against each other to kill each other. So it's battle royale, but we're gonna dress fancy, and there's not that many people. There's so many people that keep track of in that book.
Is it like actual fighting?
They give them all weapons. It's like Hunger Games.
No, but I mean like the event that you're having.
Oh no, fuck
Okay.
no.
I was like,
oh my god, oh, yeah. Oh no. If someone beats someone up, they get kicked out. We are conflict on jokes and conflict on dress only.
Okay, so it's like a comedy show. Okay.
Yes. It's a comedy fashion show.
Oh, fun.
You dress up to kill. Oh yeah, that's a comedy thing. Yeah, kill each other with jokes.
It is really fun to see everybody kind of get
A murder.
really super dressed up. It's a lot of fun. I think it's a really cool show, Amy. It was a lot of fun. It's awesome.
I will try and get everyone in for free. You don't even need to buy tickets. I just want people there. This is for love, not money. Email ilovemondays522gmail.com. I'll put you on the guest list. I'm checking nothing else.
All right, Nate, you got anything going on?
I don't have anything going on, but if anyone has a dropout on a show that they're producing and you need a comedian on short notice, or if you even want to book me yourself to do something, I'll set the time aside for you. Feel free to let me know. If you see me at an open mic, feel free to buy me a drink or something to eat. Follow me on Instagram at 86NateWolf. Thank you again for messaging me, Jesse.
Yeah,
This was a lot of fun.
course. No, you're a great guy. You're a great guy. I have on Wednesday I'm hosting Johnny Taylor and Friends in the Callback Bar, so that should be a good show. It's always a fun show because it really is Johnny's friends. Like we're always super excited just to go to the show because it's like, oh, we're gonna see so and so. It's like it's a good time. And then I was just in Auburn last night. That was a lot of fun. And then I have a show at the Uli Theater. Buddy Ramming is producing a show at the Uli Theater.
Fuck yeah, that's gonna be fire. Buddy produces a fire show. I've been at Uli. I will.
Yeah, Buddy produces some great shows. And then
Audience had a dope
October
time.
23rd, I'm in
Audience
Pleasanton.
was
And then
dope.
Sabor a Mi is back at the Callback Bar on December 1st, and you can't have free tickets. We got to sell all those.
You know what? Comedy is worth the money.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming out. That's our show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Nate. And thank you, Jesse Jones and Stab Comedy.
I know you did promise.
Yes.
All right, everybody, that is it for us finally. Oh, 4 shows, a full-ass night. We are done. We'll be back here tomorrow. Improv Jam, Stab Jam at 7.